Tailwind communities, formerly known as Tailwind tribes, are online groups that allow Pinterest users to share their pins and collaborate with others who have similar interests. These communities are a great way for service providers to reach a wider audience and also get visibility for their pins. One of the benefits of using Tailwind communities is that they provide a targeted, engaged audience for the content that you're sharing. When you join a community, you'll be able to share your pins with people who have expressed an interest in your niche. This can help you to reach more potential followers and potential clients, as well as drive traffic to your website or your blog. To get the most out of Tailwind communities, it's important to follow the community guidelines and contribute valuable content. This means sharing high quality pins that are relevant to the community and also engaging with other members, liking, commenting, and repinning their content. You get 5 Tailwind communities with your free Tailwind plan. There's going to be a link below. Sign up for Tailwind. You can get a free plan. And with the free plan, you can try out the 5 Tailwind communities. Other paid plans, you get a certain number at each level of paid packages. Should you share other people's content on Pinterest? This is a question that I get so often. There is a lot of information on the internet about this topic, and a lot of it may be old, like years old. You will hear advice about sharing 80% other people's content and 20% of your own. That's from like years and years and years ago. I'm also hearing online that you should never share other people's content. Those aren't exactly correct in my opinion, and I'll share why. But first, why should you consider my opinion? I have a ton of experience marketing on Pinterest since 2009 when it was in beta. I not only market on Pinterest for my 2 businesses, but my agency manages Pinterest accounts for other business owners as well as large communities of business owners that I help on Facebook and also in my paid group coaching and Pinterest Strategy Academy communities. In 2022, I was selected by Pinterest to be a Pinterest pioneer in their ambassador program. Pioneers bring the community spirit to Pinterest business community by engaging in the forums and chats to help fellow pinners by sharing product knowledge, tips and tricks, and best practices. I will put a link below. You should absolutely join the Pinterest business community. You can get so much information there, and it's a great way to meet new people. Every business is different, but in general, it's a good idea to share a mix of your own content and other people's content on Pinterest. The focus will always be your content. I want to repeat that again for those in the back. Your content is the focus of what you're going to be sharing. But sharing other people's content in specific situations helps to build relationships with other users, increase visibility on the platform, but also, most importantly, provide value to those that follow you. Here are a few reasons why, in specific situations, it's a good idea to share other people's content on Pinterest. Building relationships. Sharing other people's content is a great way to show your support and build relationships with other users. When you share someone else's content, they are likely to see your repin and may return the favor by sharing your content as well. This can help build a sense of community and collaboration on Pinterest. Increase your visibility. Sharing other people's content, of course, content that is helpful and that you agree with, right? You don't want to willy-nilly share content, but it can help you to increase your visibility on Pinterest. When you repin someone else's content, their followers will see your pin and they may decide to follow you as well. This can help to expose your content to new businesses, new audiences, and potentially increase your reach on the platform. Provide value to your followers. This is the main reason why you would ever want to share other people's content. Sharing other people's content can be a great way to provide value to your followers in and around your specific type of education or content. As an example, if I have a board for YouTube and I am not a YouTube expert. So I share Jessica Stansberry, who's my favorite YouTube educator, and other followers. I'll share their pins because I want my followers to get educated on marketing in general. By sharing that content from a variety of sources, you can also offer a wide range of information in and around your big sort of area. So, like, obviously, I'm a Pinterest educator, but really, I help in all marketing areas. And by sharing this information and resources to your followers, this can help you to keep your followers engaged and coming back for more. So, when should you share other people's content? There are only two reasons that I share other people's content, and I do it sparingly. It's a very small percentage of the pins on my account. So, first, if I see good content that my followers would really benefit from, and they're from an educator that I value and trust, or at least I agree with the content that they're sharing, that is the main reason why I want to share other people's content. An example is for my photography business, I will share wedding planning content from wedding planners I trust because it will add value to my wedding clients and also my Pinterest followers. Or I'll pin hair and makeup information that would be valuable to my brand clients or even my wedding clients, or in general, my Pinterest followers. The second is that I love to reshare pins from my Tailwind communities that aren't a direct competitor, and the information would be valuable to my Pinterest followers. This enables me to follow the rules for Tailwind communities. Everyone's a little different, but the majority of them, for every pin that you share in the community of your content, you need to share or repin a pin from the Tailwind community. But also, it provides much better reach on my Pinterest account, sharing valuable content that is already doing well for others. Tailwind communities, do's and don'ts. Tailwind communities are a great way to get more reach and mileage from the content that you've already created and get your content in front of a larger audience. However, it is really important to follow some best practices in order to get the most out of your participation in these communities. Here are some do's and don'ts to keep in mind. Do's. Follow the community guidelines. Each community has their own set of rules for participation. Be sure to familiarize yourself with these guidelines and follow them to avoid getting kicked out or having your content removed. Share high quality content. Tailwind communities are a great place to share your best work. Make sure you're sharing pins that are a 2:3 ratio so that they take up the most real estate. Visually appealing and well-written content, have a call to action, and be relevant to your community. Repin content. When you repin other people's pins from the community, take a second to see who has repinned your content. And if it fits in one of your boards, then repin one of their pins because they already shared one of your pins. It's a great way to encourage them to share even more of your pins. Not only that, but it's thoughtful, and that person will likely repin more of your pins. Be respectful. Remember that these communities are full of real people with their own opinions and experiences. So be respectful of others. Check weekly highlights. This tab in Tailwind Communities will show you the pins that are the most shared, and since they are proven to be popular, they are the best pins to share. Check that already shared checkbox. This way you aren't resharing content that you have previously shared. Share pins that have already done well on your Pinterest account. Don't share brand new pins. The pins that you share that already have results on it will look better in the community through the little fire signs that are on the top of the pin. Don't spam the community. A mistake I see all too often is that there's 8,000 pins put in by one person. First of all, they're probably going to get kicked out. Second of all, it doesn't look good in the community either. And no one likes a spammer. So don't share too many pins in a short period of time, and make sure that you're sharing content that is relevant to the community. Don't self-promote excessively. Don't break the rules. As mentioned, each community will have its own set of rules, so don't break those rules or you risk getting banned or kicked out from the community. Don't repin pins that aren't good. So definitely don't pin other people's content that isn't something that your community will like, that's not a good fit, or isn't content that you agree with. By following those do's and don'ts, you can get the most out of your participation in Tailwind communities and build relationships with other Pinterest users. How to find the best communities. Start by navigating in the community section of your Tailwind dashboard, select find community, and type in keywords related to your business niche. You should see a list of related Tailwind communities pop up. You may need to go more broad or more granular with your topic, depending upon the options that appear. It's important to evaluate community stats before you join. Click the preview community button and you'll be able to see its detailed stats on the left side of the screen. Virality score for Tailwind communities is a measure of how effective a community's content is being shared and spread across Pinterest. A high virality score indicates that the community's pins are being repinned and shared by a large number of users, while a low score suggests that the content is not getting as much traction. There are a few different factors that can influence a community's virality score, and one of the most important is the quality of the content being shared. Pins that are visually appealing, well written, and relevant to the community are more likely to be repinned and shared by others. Another factor that can impact a community's virality score is the engagement level of its members. Communities with active members are more likely to have a higher virality score. Overall, a high virality score is a good sign that Tailwind community is producing high quality content that is resonating with its members and being shared widely on Pinterest. It's good to find out the virality by figuring out the score instead of looking at the graph and how many people are in the community. You can do this by jumping into a community and having a look at how many posts are shared in total to the group, and then look at how many reshares that post got overall. If you take the reshares and divide it by the total number of posts, you are going to get the virality score. A virality score of more than 25 is really good. In addition, keep in mind too that you want to join communities that are in and around your content. So I'm a Pinterest manager. I love to go and join communities that are about marketing, or about entrepreneurs, or about my specialty of photographers or wedding pros. Joining different communities will get you a well-rounded group of communities that will help you to market better. I have a Google spreadsheet that automatically does all of these calculations, and I use it as a way to log which communities I've reviewed, when I've joined, when I've left, etc. I have a Google spreadsheet that automatically does the calculations that I use as a way to log which communities I've reviewed, which ones I've joined, which ones I've left, etc. And this is provided free in the Pinterest Strategy Club. This club is basically a community coaching membership where I'm live at least 3 times a month to help with a masterclass diving deep in one situation, and the other 2 calls are Q&A calls where you can ask me anything about Pinterest and marketing in general, and I can then share my screen and show you how to do something. This is so much better than a Pinterest course because it's all live, active help with coaching directly from me. You can get all the information in the link below. The blue flame number, which appears at the top right of pins in communities, also known as the BFN number, is a metric used by Tailwind to measure the potential reach of a pin on Pinterest. It is based on the number of repins and reshares that a pin has received, as well as the engagement level of the users who have shared it. The blue flame number is represented by a blue flame icon with a number of flames indicating the potential reach of a pin. For example, a pin with a BFN of 50 has a higher potential reach than a pin with a BFN of 1. The blue flame number is meant to give users an idea of which pins are performing well and have the potential to go viral on Pinterest. It is important to note that the BFN is just one factor to consider when evaluating the success of a pin, and it is not the only measure of a pin's reach or engagement. When you share a pin from Tailwind community, I recommend that you share one that has a high BFN compared to the others out there. Which pins should you share to communities? This is so important. When sharing pins to Tailwind communities, it is really important to consider the interests and preferences of community members. Here are a few tips for choosing pins to share. Share high quality content. Make sure that that you are sharing pins that are visually appealing, well written, and relevant to the community. This will increase the chances that your pin will be repinned and shared by other members. Follow the community guidelines. Each community will have its own set of guidelines for what is acceptable to share, and make sure you familiarize yourself with these guidelines and only share content that is in line with those. Share your own content. This is no time to share other people's pins because you're not going to get credit for it. So share your own pins, but share the pins that have already performed well. Don't share brand new pins because we want to have pins that is already proven to do very well on Pinterest. Those are the pins that you want to share in other communities. You can go into Tailwind in the Insights area or Pin Inspector and see which of your pins are doing incredibly well, and you can share directly to communities through that area. That is my secret weapon that works incredibly well. Pay attention to the community's interests. Take time to look at the type of content that are being shared in the community and try to share content that aligns with those interests. This will increase the chances that your pin will be well received by the community. Tailwind communities are a great way for Pinterest users to connect with like-minded individuals and increase the reach of their content. When participating in Tailwind communities, it's important to follow the community guidelines, share high-quality content, and engage with other members. To find the best communities for your content, it's helpful to look for communities with high virality score. The blue flame number can be a useful metric for identifying which pins have potential to go viral on Pinterest. And by considering these factors, you can maximize your reach and get the most out of your participation in Tailwind communities. See ya!